Welcome back to Outside Views, where today we're diving into British politics at its messiest and honestly most entertaining. Because it's 2025 and guess who's having a bit of an anxiety attack? The Tories. That's right, Britain's Conservatives are bracing for impact in the local elections, and it might be a rough landing. So let's set the scene. Local elections are coming up across England, and the Conservatives are widely expected to lose many of the councils they managed to grab back in 2021. Sounds dramatic, right? Well, according to one of Britain's top pollsters, Peter Kellner, it's not just dramatic, it would be downright disastrous. Why? Well, first, let's talk control. The Tories are likely to wave goodbye to quite a few local authorities. Places they've historically dominated might soon slip through their fingers. And we're talking about traditional Tory strongholds here. Think about that for a moment. Losing your home turf is a political nightmare. But the stakes aren't just local. The bigger question hanging over the election is how these results reflect the national mood. And Kellner made a fascinating observation when speaking to Trevor Phillips on Sky News. He pointed out that traditionally, big parties tend to perform slightly worse in local elections than their national polling suggests. And meanwhile, smaller parties typically overperform. Which means this election could reveal something we've never quite seen before in British politics. Imagine waking up to find smaller parties have collectively captured a majority of the vote. That would be extraordinary. That would be unprecedented. And it could genuinely reshape the political landscape. Of course, Britain's voting system does make multi-party politics a bit tricky. It's a system designed to favor big players. But even so, the idea that no single party would come out decisively on top would be groundbreaking and frankly chaotic. And here's another prediction that might make Conservative Party members reach for their, let's say, heart medication. Kellner suggests that we will see a significant increase in councils with no overall control. And in plain English, this means no party secures a clear majority. This isn't just theoretical, this is a serious political headache. Imagine Tory councillors having to sit down and negotiate with Reform UK. Imagine those uneasy coalitions and uncomfortable alliances. It's like being forced to attend family therapy with relatives you don't even like. And awkward doesn't even begin to cover it. But wait, it gets better. Or worse, depending on your political allegiances, because Kellner believes the Tory reform drama won't stop at council level. He expects the battle between these two right-leaning parties to spill over into local government halls across England. And the stakes will only get higher. Reform UK, sensing blood in the water, will be ready to pounce, and the Conservatives, desperate to hold onto their traditional base, will fight tooth and nail. And let's step back and ask ourselves why this is happening. Kellner pointed out something crucial. British politics itself has changed. Gone are the days of unwavering party loyalty. People's identities and economic interests have shifted drastically. Brexit, COVID-19 and economic instability have all contributed to the shift. And today, voters are much more fluid and political affiliations are more fragile. Welcome to the era of multi-party politics, folks. It's messy, it's unpredictable, it's fascinating, and it might just become the new normal. But let's dig even deeper. The Conservatives aren't just facing challenges from Reform UK, they are also battling Labour, who are keen to capitalise on every Tory misstep. And Keir Starmer and his team are already painting the Conservatives as out of touch and ineffective. And Labour's recent surge in national polling suggests they might be onto something. And if Labour performs well in these local elections, it will add significant momentum to their work in government. If it really works. but it could go the other way around as well. And then there's the Liberal Democrats. They've historically excelled in local elections, and Lib Dem candidates are known for their relentless community campaigning, and they are set to pick up seats from disillusioned Tory voters, particularly in the south of England. And imagine the Conservative shock if traditional blue areas start turning yellow. It's not impossible. In fact, it's looking increasingly likely. And the Green Party also shouldn't be underestimated. In recent years, they have transformed from a fringe group into a serious political contender in many local councils. Younger voters, increasingly concerned about climate change, see the Greens as a viable alternative to the established parties. And the Conservatives might find themselves squeezed not only by reform on the right, but also by environmentally conscious voters turning green. And yes, don't forget independent candidates. Voters frustrated with mainstream parties are increasingly turning to local independents who promise to put community over party politics. And these independents can disrupt traditional voting patterns, adding another layer of uncertainty to an already chaotic election. And let's also consider voter turnout. Historically, local elections see lower participation rates compared to general elections. It's the same here. But with the political temperature rising, we might see a much higher turnout this year. And higher turnout usually spells trouble for the incumbents. So not only the Tories, but in some places even Labour have every reason to worry that voters motivated by dissatisfaction will head to the polls in record numbers. And moreover, the media coverage of these elections has intensified. Every fight that still goes on within the Tories will put a lot of pressure on them. And the pressure on Conservative councillors and MPs alike will be immense. Everything that hints for some party division will be used by reform. But who has the most to worry about this election? And according to Peter Kellner, it's definitely the Conservatives, and then not even in government, although the government usually gets the kick. But there's a real possibility that the Tories won't just perform poorly, they could come in fourth place nationally when the results are projected. Fourth place. Let that sink in. Imagine the headlines. Imagine the panic at Conservative HQ. Imagine the soul-searching that would follow. Yes, the Tories have plenty of reasons to be nervous, because the election results won't just be about local councils. They'll be a temperature check on the nation's mood, a sign what happened to Conservatives after reform got stronger and stronger. Well, we definitely will see some drama. So grab your popcorn, folks, because this is British politics at its very best and worst. So thanks for tuning into Outside Views. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We'll see you next time right here for more clear analysis without the spin. And the next video is right here in the end screen.